Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Today is our quick review of graphing linear equations and inequalities. Okay, so we have for you guys just a bunch of random graphing problems. They're a little bit on the simpler side, but I just want to kind of boost your confidence heading, forward, so on and so forth. So, sketch the graph of the following. Now, I will say this to you guys: y equals mx plus b is our best friend here. Okay, the m stands for our slope. The b is our y-intercept. Okay. So life is good, right? Y equals negative 2x minus 2, okay? So the value that's in front of our x is our slope. So we know that our slope in this problem is negative 2. You do not have to label these all the time. Our y-intercept is negative 2. So here is our origin, 0, 0, okay? Quadrant 1, 2, 3, 4. So if my y-intercept's down negative 2, I come down here and I plot myself 1 point, okay? Now my slope is negative 2. Technically that's divided by 1. So rise over run. I'm going to go down 2 over 1. All right. Down 2. Oops, on the way here. Down 2 over 1. All right. Technically you only need 2 points. Once you have 2 points, you have enough to graph that line. There you go. All right. Now, we have these wonderful graphing calculators that you guys are more than welcome to use during class. The top left-hand corner, it says y equals. If you hit this, all right, you want to clear out whatever junk is in here. And I'm going to type this into my calculator. Negative 2x, the x button is just to the right of alpha, minus 2, all right? And if I hit graph, okay, there we go. I'm going to change this back to zoom standard, which is zoom number 6. Because that's what looks very close to this. Cool. Now that's all well and good, but here's the most valuable thing about graphing on this calculator. If you hit second and table, this will pull up an XY chart of everything you need over here. So when we found 0, negative 2, there's 0, there's negative 2. Our next point was 1, negative 4. There it is, 1, negative 4. We are going to use this second table a whole heck of a lot this year. All right, so please get familiar with it. Feel free to grab a graphing calculator and play around with it. Cool, there we go, that's it. Here, I have to do a little bit of work first, okay? Like here I already had y by itself, here I do not. So I'm going to subtract 2x over, divide everything by negative 5, okay? Y equals 2/5 x minus 1. Now I have it in slope-intercept form. Now I can rock and roll. My y-intercept is negative 1. Go down 1, plot a point. My slope this time is 2 over 5. Rise is 2, up 2, run at 5. Up to 5. Okay. I always go to the right. If you want to go to the left, you kind of have to do the reverse where you would go down to left 5. So it's up to you, but I really encourage you to always go up then over or down then over. You always want to go to the right. Graph my line. Always remember, I know my hand's in the way, arrows. Okay. I know this isn't geometry class, but we are graphing lines, which means that you need to have arrows, 2 arrows, not 1, not 0, 2 arrows. This is important, all right? You want to show this line continues in both directions forever. Cool. These two are rather simple, but I wanted to make sure that I share them with you because they can be a little frustrating at times. Y equals number. Well, I don't know if you ever heard of the Hoy and Vox thing. Y is horizontal, which means I have a horizontal line through whatever value this is. So the value of y being negative 3 is down here, and you're drawing a horizontal line through it, right? So horizontal for any time you see y equals a value. This will come up a lot, especially in our application problems. You'll notice that a lot, more and more. If y is horizontal, x is going to be, hopefully we're all okay with this, vertical, Vox, Hoy and Vox. Vertical, so at 5, now I'm not looking at the y values, I'm looking at my x values. You're going to come over here to 5 on my number line. Okay, I'm going to draw a vertical line straight up and down. Cool. This has a 0 slope. This has an undefined slope. All right, in fact, we have all of them. This is a negative slope. This is a positive slope, 0 slope, undefined slope. Think about anywhere a car can go. I mean, it's simple terms, but you got it. Cool. Wonderful. Write the slope-intercept forming the equation of a line through the given points through here and here. You need two things for an equation of a line. You need slope and you need y-intercept. So to find slope, we're going to use our good old y sub 2 minus y sub 1 divided by x sub 2 minus x sub 1 formula. Okay. Here's our points. X sub 1, y sub 1, x sub 2, y sub 2. It doesn't matter which order you pick them in as long as you're consistent. You're looking at negative 1 minus 2 divided by 0 minus negative 3. Negative 3 divided by positive 3. My slope is negative 1. We're going to put it back into y equals mx plus b. And here's where you guys choose which point would you like to work with. Hopefully you guys are clever. You can pick this one because it's way easier. In fact, many of you might already know this is going to be our y-intercept because your y-intercept is always when your x value is 0. But I'm going to show you all the work just in case. Plug in a negative 1 for y. My slope is negative 1. My x is 0. That cancels out. B equals negative 1. I have my m. I have my b. Plug it back in. Y equals negative 1x. And my y-intercept is negative 1. Good to go. All right, so a simple equation. Find your slope, find your y-intercept, good from there. And this is a gift. Anytime you see 0 comma, you know you already have your y-intercept. Okay? On to the back. All right, so same general idea, guys. It's just that now we're going to be graphing inequality, so things do change up a bit. Y is less than or equal to negative 1/3 x plus 1. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and graph this. So plus 1 is my y-intercept. Graph it. Okay, now my slope is negative 1/3. So from my y-intercept, I'm going to go down 1, run it 3. I'm going to go down 1, run it 3. Okay, so it is less than or equal to. Since that equal to is underneath there, this is going to be a solid line. That is a terrible line. Please accept my apologies there. Yikes, that was just awful. I missed it completely. So if it's less than or equal to, guys, you could do a test point, but, well, I'll show you what a test point is. Test 0, 0. You can pick a point on either side of this graph, okay? I always like picking 0, 0 when I can. If I plug 0, 0 into this inequality, is 0 less than or equal to negative 1/3 times 0 plus 1? Well, this cancels out. Is 0 less than or equal to 1? Yes. That means that this point right here is true. So we're good. Another kind of rule of thumb, guys, if you're looking at this less than, you shade below the graph. Greater than, you shade above. So it's kind of easier to do it that way. You get the idea. So good stuff. Sorry again for that terrible line. This is why you don't do math in pen. Yeah. Okay, y is greater than 6x minus 1. So my y-intercept is negative 1 down here, right? My slope is 6. So I'm going to go up 6 over 1. So up 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 over 1. It's a very steep line. Greater than is a just dashed line. So when I do this, okay, I'm good to go. And then I'm going to shade greater than, I'm going to shade above it. Okay. I'm going to pick a test point to show you guys again. I'm going to pick test point negative 1. Actually, I'm going to do test point 2, 1. I want to show you guys this. If I would pick test point 2, 1, and plug that up here, I'm going to get 1 is greater than 6 times 2 minus 1. 1 is greater than 11. Is that true? Hopefully you guys are cool with knowing that's not true. So this point does not work. So since this side doesn't work, you want to shade the other side. Okay, so you guys pick if you want to do the test points or not. I will tell you later on, we do systems of inequalities. It helps big time. But for these simple, single inequalities, you're more than welcome just to kind of shade. Y is less than 125. Now, I did this on purpose because I gave you this little graph down here where it says negative 6 to positive 6, negative 6 to positive 6, and I gave you 125. I'm a total jerk. I'm so sorry. If I were you guys, I would just, a problem like this, if you ever had this for like a word problem, all right, Mr. Mel went over this in class as well. You can just do, 25, 50, 75, 100, 125. So make each of these tick marks worth 25, right? 50, 75, 100, 125. Y is less than 125. This is going to be a dashed line. It's a horizontal line that we just talked about. Less than, you're going to shade below it. All right. But what I'm saying is whenever you guys have something this big, you can change your graph. You can alter your graph, like, and put in your values that you want. Like, so make each dash worth 25. Okay. And this problem it's perfectly fine. So horizontal line, good to go. Finally, x is greater than or equal to 0. This is a frustrating one, but it's also very helpful because we do talk a lot in the quadrant 1. It's a vertical line through 0. Now, I did say earlier, above and beyond, like below, whenever you have your graph. Well, here, there's no real below and above because it's a vertical line. But guys, think about a number line. If I want to be greater than or equal to 0, am I going to the right or to the left of it? Okay. Hopefully, we're comfortable with greater than would be to the right. So what we're doing here is staying to the right, and we're in good shape. All right. So there was a nice quick review of graphing lines and inequalities. Guys, if you have any questions, please feel free to let me know. Yeah, as always, keep up the good work and good luck. We're all counting on you.